morning, Bears. It's a Thursday, Friday epic. We are going to do some work today, right in the beginning of Zoom, to wrap up yesterday's work, which ties in lovely to today's work. But first, let's take a look at Emma's slideshow. Fantastic, Emma, as usual. Great job on the title. Good. CR, what is El Nino? Look at that. You can totally see the changing, the purple, the different colors. Reading maps is a skill we want to learn about. So when you use maps, it's a great thing. El Nino means boys. Fact number 4. Fact number 5. Fact number 4. El Nino is associated with a band of warm ocean water that develops in the central and east central equatorial Pacific. Fact number 3. El Nino typically brings wet weather to California. Fact, which we have right now. Fact number 2. The unusually warm waters are dark purple in the sea surface temperature, telling us about the map. Fact number 1, drum roll please. El Nino occurs when warm water builds up along the equator in the eastern Pacific. There's our equator, colder waters at the top. Warmer water brings in warmer temperatures because the surface temperature, heated from the sun, impacts the air temperature. Oh yeah, that's a little review. I love it when you do your little charts like this. We have cause, an event that process. An example, I graduated from elementary school that causes celebration. When I do something to my brother, it causes effect to my behavior. Example, prevailing winds cause an effect to the ocean's currents. Bing, 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 bing. Okay, this is going to tie into today's A-level FIST essay. Could call it a CER as well. Basically, we're doing a cause and effect essay. Remember, anytime you write, you're going to write better if you choose a style. Compare and contrast, we've done that. Informational, I want to give information, which could be a compare and contrast, could be a cause and effect. A persuasive or argumentative, you're trying to convince somebody of something. A claim essay, here's my claim, I have to defend it. So once you pick something, any essay, any story you write on any test, always think about what's an angle I can take when I do my writing. It's going to make everything that much more simple. What's my purpose? So in this one, we're going to do cause and effect. Well, if you think about it, you have a claim. You give a little information about what not a claim. You have an introduction sentence about the coriolis effect, which we're writing about today. So you talk about what you're writing about, coriolis effect. You say what it does. That's kind of the cause. You say its impact or effect on nature, on what it does to the earth. Maybe you give an example of that, and you write your conclusion. So how easy is it to write a beautiful paragraph when you have this organization? Tell us what you're going to tell us about coriolis, or it could be anything. Let's use Emma's. Tell us that you're going to talk about your graduation from elementary. Tell us about the day. Tell us what the impact was. A celebration party. Give us an example. I got some kind of present. It was a fun day at my elementary graduation. So when you use a cause and effect essay, it's a great structure. So that's the structure we're going to use today. Now, today, even easier because you can use 2 of those sentences will be evidence from a source. What source? Well, we're going to start with yesterday's source. So let's go to that right now. So that is down here. And I want everybody to scroll down, go to groups right now. I'm going to give you 10 minutes. 10 minutes is a lot of time. I'm going to put you in breakout rooms. In those breakout rooms, I want you to all have the article open. Article for read along and notes. You're going to click that. You're going to open it. Now, what if you can't open it? Then you can go to the lesson and read aloud, and you can scroll that lesson until you find where I did the read aloud on a video. And you can just kind of scroll and read until you find something about the Coriolis effect. Because remember, this article had a lot of information about different things on ocean currents. We just want one sentence, one evidence on the Coriolis effect. So we're going to do that right now. Now, this is what I want you to do. I really want you guys to be good at these articles in this library. So if you're having problems, tell me right now. Let's see if we can get you into the article, because it's going to help you next year, and we're going to use this article more and more, these articles more and more this year. So let's make sure you can get into the article link. I want you to practice browsing, finding something on Coriolis effect. You're going to highlight it. You're going to write your note in that document. Then you can submit that article. If there's a way to submit it, I want you to find it. If you can't, don't worry. We'll do that later. That might be something different, but at least you'll have that saved. If you worked on it yesterday, guess what? It saved it for you. You might already have a note on the coriolis. So then once you've highlighted it, annotated it, I'm not going there now because I don't want to leave this groups because I'm still working on it. Then you can just copy the cited, put it in a top slide. Copy your question. Remember we did questions yesterday. Put it in your top slide. Well, now you'll have all the evidence you need from this article. So let's do that right now. You have 10 minutes. Stay with me if you have any problems whatsoever. Go into a breakout room, which I am going to assign them today, but don't go to it. Stay with me if you have problems, or come back from your breakout room if you have problems, so I can help you, because I want everybody learning this articles. All right, let's go do that now. All right, we are back. Now, in Zoom, I will look at a couple of your slideshows. We'll look at some notes. We'll look at some evidence, make sure people did that correctly. If you're watching this video on your own, but the bottom line, go to this article from Wednesday, find something about the coriolis effect, copy and paste it into a top slide. Now, let's go to today's article for a read aloud. Now, these articles are great, and you have access to articles that we haven't read. I am telling you right now, I don't care if there's YouTubes, if there's short videos, if there's entertainment, if there's games, there's all these different ways to learn. For a long time still to come, you can learn from reading, and it does things to your brain that are super powerful. So please read along while we go. Let's do this.
The Coriolis effect. For thousands of years, the only way for humans to travel across Earth's ocean was to sail across it, and the only way to sail across the ocean was to rely on the wind. Since it's much easier to sail in the direction that the wind is blowing...
I forgot. I don't know if I gave you time. I don't know if I explained it right. You can follow along with me right now, which is not a bad way to go. So maybe we'll just keep going. But we're going to need to open this one next. And this one is up here in groups. Article 2, Coriolis effect. So if you like to open that, you guys that are capable, go ahead and make my screen into exit full screen up top. And then open up this article so you can highlight as you go. But we will highlight together after. So either way, here we go.
Then to go in the opposite direction, sailors became very familiar with the patterns of wind they could depend on to take them across the ocean. Eventually, the prevailing winds closest to the equator became known as the trade winds because they made it possible for people from different places to travel in order to trade with one another. The prevailing winds are consistent wind patterns, but what causes them to blow consistently in the same direction? Believe it or not, the pattern they follow is partly caused by the spinning of Earth. If Earth didn't spin, there would still be wind. The air in our atmosphere would rise at the equator and move directly north toward the poles, while air from the poles would move in to take its place. That's because wind is caused by differences in air temperature between air in one place and air in another.
Now we're doing a cause and effect essay. So we want to start looking for these causes, but remember, we're focusing on Coriolis. So does the wind cause the Coriolis, or is that prevailing winds? Let's take a look. There's an atmosphere, so this is when you browse back sometimes. That's because wind is caused by differences in temperature. That doesn't sound like Coriolis. It's between air in one place. Now up here, though, believe it or not, the pattern they follow is partly caused by the spinning Earth. So the prevailing winds are consistent wind patterns, but what causes them to blow consistently in the same direction? Oh, here we go. What causes them? Caused by the spinning Earth. Now, what am I going to do? Highlight. And then later you'll come back and take your note because we're reading right now. But that's a good cause and effect of Coriolis.
And air at the equator is much warmer than air at the poles. However, Earth does spin, and its spinning has an important effect on patterns of prevailing winds. The curved pattern that results when something, such as wind, moves across a spinning object, such as Earth, is known as the Coriolis effect. Because of the Coriolis effect, the prevailing winds at the equator blow towards the west. The Coriolis effect can be seen in prevailing winds all over Earth, including the trade winds that blow across the ocean. Over long distances, this curving of the flow of air causes the wind to blow in big circular patterns. As they move, the winds also push the ocean currents along with them. This is part of the reason the ocean currents form circular gyres. By blowing in the same pattern for thousands.
Okay, so I couldn't find my pause button. Notice here, because of the Coriolis effect, the prevailing winds at the equator blow toward the west. When you see because, that's cause and effect. The spinning of our planet causes, we have another cause. This would be a good one right here. Circular patterns, there you go. You've got at least two already. This is called the Coriolis effect, and it can be seen in the patterns of the prevailing winds all over Earth.
Thousands of years, the trade winds have been a consistent influence on where humans traveled, where we decided to live, and how we traded with each other. Just think, without the Coriolis effect, life on Earth might be very different.
All right, fantastic. So that is a very good short article. There's more effect. See the effect? There's an effect. Look, causes. There's a cause and effect. So I did a couple here. I'm not going to leave them up because I want you guys to figure it out. You can go watch the video and see it. But right now, what I want everybody to do, go into groups. Open Article 2 Coriolis effect. I'm going to give you it's a short article. I'll give you 5 minutes this time in breakout rooms. For 5 minutes, go back in the breakout rooms. Help each other. Make sure everybody has two pieces of information or evidence that's a cause and effect information or evidence from this article. You only want maybe 2 lines copied. You don't want big chunks because you're going to highlight it for thousands of years. I was going to do this one. I would highlight it. Then you take a note. You click it. You can take a note. And yesterday we did a question. You can still do a question, but you can just do a note, or you could do an example, or you could do a reasoning, anything to kind of explain that. I've been on the ocean before, and I can see how winds can cause ships to go in certain directions. So I'm just writing something I'm thinking about. I save it, and then I go find another one. Then, once you have this, you're going to go back, you're going to copy this. Remember, this is quotes. You're going to copy this. You're going to put that into your top slide Coriolis effect. I'm going to make one for Emma right now. Coriolis effect. Cause and effect essay. So she's going to put all this here. She's going to put together a nice fist essay, and she will be ready to go. All right, let's go into our groups. Let's get our evidence. And then if you get that quickly, you can start working on your essay. Remember, this is the last assignment of the week. You have the rest of today to work on this. And tomorrow, after we do Fun Day Friday, and look at these beautiful essays that are done. All right, let's do this. Thursday, Friday, epic.